this sip and chat where we sip and we chat about very important topics. So, welcome to all of my loved ones. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you all are doing absolutely amazing. And we have another great topic. While I'm waiting for my co host, Miss Nexty, I have to acknowledge all of my loved ones and to say thank you so much for supporting me, supporting this channel. Yeah, and all of those things. So, first, let's start talking about today's topic. Today's topic is loving them or enabling them. And what me and Miss Nexie did, we started something new where we do a mini sip. And in the mini sip, it's like a preview. It was a 5 minute live where we talked about a little bit about today's topic. So that's what we're going to try to do once a week. Talk about a little bit about what the subject will be so that we can find out about what you guys think. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And here's my amazing co host, Miss Nexie, is in the house. Uh oh. Hi, Miss Nexie. Are you there? Nope, I don't hear you. Oh, I see a view. I see somewhere that's very beautiful, but I can't hear nothing. I think you're muted, Miss Nexie. But I do see this beautiful, beautiful view. I see palm trees. Ooh, I want to be there. I want to be there. Wow, that's beautiful, Miss Nexie. But I still can't hear you. I don't hear nothing. But I do see a beautiful view. Miss Nexie, unmute yourself while we wait for Miss Nexie, who's showing her beautiful view in an undisclosed location. My co-host is while she gets herself together, let's start talking about today's topic, loving them or enabling them. I think Miss Nexie will come back. So I want to talk to you guys about this, enabling them or loving them. One thing that I will say, everybody, is that this is a judgment-free zone. I am not here to judge anybody and to tell anybody how to live their lives. Me and Miss Nexty, we do these topics so that we can really get into having healthy relationships. That's what this channel is all about, healthy relationships and not toxic ones. So, for anybody who has been on this channel for a good enough period of time, you will know this, that I definitely was a toxic person. And I always thought that it was my job, it was my responsibility actually to take care of relatives, to take care of who you're in a romantic relationship with. That's what I grew up in. That's what I thought was okay. I thought that was something normal. I thought that was the only thing that was right because sometimes when we are raised a certain way, we feel like this is all we know. And we feel like we're good people if we don't do what we grew up doing. And it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength to change from that. And for many years, I was definitely a toxic person. I was definitely a person who I didn't speak up for myself and to say how I was really feeling and what I was going through. But one thing about life is you're going to get tired. You're going to feel stressed out and you're going to get sick of always doing what you've always done. You're going to get tired of it. Uh-oh. I just unmuted myself. I hope you guys can hear me. When you were live, I couldn't hear you. Now I hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes. Yes. Wow, that's beautiful.
I know, right? And
Mm,
there we are on a little RV.
I love it.
Yes, it's a very nice, very relaxing. I don't know. I think in one day is already too much. 2 days, I'm not sure I can handle it. I'm ready to kill somebody, Miss Marlene. I'm ready to
Uh-oh.
kill. But no, I'm just kidding. It's actually very nice. It's empty right now, but a lot of people are coming in tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in San Felipe, Mexico.
Wow.
It's
Beautiful.
gorgeous, huh?
Hmm.
This is like an RV park. Most of them have hookups, and there's some housing up there. That's the one I want when I grow up. The one up there, the white one.
Hmm.
When I grow up, that's what I want you to buy me, Miss Marlene. I'm not gonna do it for myself. You have to buy me that
Well, when I get rich,
one. Oh wait, shall we start? Aren't we here for something?
we're here for some reason. I don't know what it is. So, Miss Nexie, today
Yes.
before we even get started with all of that, Miss Nexie, what are you going to be sipping on today?
Oh, just plain old coconut water. I'm just kidding. Just water, Miss Marlene. Nothing fancy, nothing simple, plain water.
Okay. Well,
What
wow,
are you sipping on?
Miss Nexie, actually today I don't even have a drink.
Oh no.
I got to I got to do better. Well, what had happened was
What?
I had a really big lunch, so I really don't feel
Oh,
like even having anything right now. So,
I gotcha. I gotcha. I feel you. I had a lot of fruit. There was this little truck that came by, like driving on the beach right there.
mhm.
And she stopped by our RV, and then she's like, "We're selling fruit. You guys want anything? Watermelon, coconuts?" I was like, "Everything." So I had so much. I totally was really full.
Well, it's not like I'm jealous or anything.
Of course not. Look, I'm going up to our town. It's so cute. Isn't it
I'm not
cute?
jealous or nothing.
Of course you're not. I'm just showing you because I don't want to brag about being here and all. I'm just letting you know. So that's the entrance to the place, and then we came down here. And look at that chair, Miss Marlene.
Mhm. What is that a blue chair? Where did that come from?
It's the same. The owner placed it there. It's called Kids Camp, and he got that huge chair made.
Yeah, very cute.
But so you're just nothing, no drink. You still have a full belly of whatever it is that you had.
Yep, I got a full belly. I'm gonna put the short up after the sip and chat so you can see the drink that I had. It's a strawberry soda, but it's kind of like like you know how like when you have the strawberry preserves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has like some of that strawberry preserves kind of flavor in it. Well, it's an Italian strawberry soda.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
I want some.
Well, you can't have any.
Oh, because you're jealous that we're having fun and you're not. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm not I know you are, but what am I?
Oh, do you remember growing up? Oh my God, my kids. I know you are, but what am I? Oh,
All day long. I drove my mother crazy.
poor mama. I know she in heaven. There's no other place you'll go having a child like you.
Excuse me.
I had to say it. I'm sorry, Miss Marlene. I had to say it. I had to. I was compelled to. I was called to say those words. You see, I have too much time. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking like, okay, it's nice and everything, it's like I'm having fun and then nonstop, like talking. I'm like, okay, I'm having fun. Okay, you're having fun, Nixie, relax. Now I'm like, I want to go home.
I know. When you have a really good trip, you who wants to go back home?
Exactly. And now I'm here for the next 5 days.
I'm here for the next 5 days. Hmm. Yeah, we are ready. So today, Miss Nexty, we're talking about loving them or enabling them.
Oopsie. Okay, Miss Marlene. Yeah, was that aimed towards me? Because I kind of choked a little when I was drinking my plain water.
Oh, I forgot to say to everybody, when you come to the sip and chat, you got to have your boots on.
I'm on beach sandals, so that really hurt. That really hurt.
So, Miss
Wow.
Nexty, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, loving them or enabling them, is because a lot of times as women and men, we do things and we think that we are loving them. We think we're doing everything right. We're doing everything good, like for anybody in our lives. Like it could be from your spouse to your sibling to your kids to your job. We feel like we're doing everything good for them, and actually, what we're doing is we're doing a disservice. We're hurting them.
You know, Miss Marlene. It's a matter of fact. That's exactly what me and my ex-husband. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were catching up because he's with us in this trip. And we were catching up on my nieces and nephews I haven't seen for many, many years because, we got separated. So I don't know why they chose sides, but they did. And, my kids haven't really been in contact with them for a long time because they literally just stopped calling or coming over as soon as, the separation went through. But I was catching up with him on, how the kids are and, they're grown now and how I miss everything from them growing up and stuff. And he was just kind of giving me like a little bit of history. And he's like, it's sad that all of our nieces and nephews, the majority of them are not picking up their own way. They're not working, they're not going to school, and these are grown adults, Miss Marlene. I'm talking 30 years old and plus, late 20s, early 30s, kind of like the same age as our children. And he's telling me, he's like, a lot of them are not really doing anything. They're just staying at home. They don't want to go to school. I asked them, so what are you going to do with your life now? I mean, you're already, this old. And, well, nothing. Like, I try to find a job, but, just here. And he's like, there's no ambition. There's none of that. And it's sad because I knew when I was, as me and my sister-in-laws were raising our children, I knew, Miss Marlene, that the way they were doing it, the way they were enabling the kids, I knew that this was the outcome. I don't know why I knew that this would have been like this was going to be the outcome, because they were being so I love my kids, right? I adore my kids, and because I love them, my job is to make sure that they're going to school, to make sure that they're getting up to. I mean, my brother-in-law's not stepping up to the plate to help the wives, and so there's so many different ways that I saw that this was going to be, you know, the ending of all of that. And I'm sad, but at the same time, I'm glad that I didn't have, that I didn't get to live the whole drama of them growing up this way. Hey, Nate.
Yeah, Miss Nexie, I've seen a lot of things that happened a long time ago where, oh, she has to show her view. Uh, so there's a lot of people who won't ever agree, but the ones that will do everything for their kids or spouse or siblings or whoever that they claim that they love, and that is what they think love is. And and i had and i had to myself, Miss Nexie, learn that what I was doing was a reflection of how my upbringing.
Right? Or the perfect sibling, daughter, the perfect anything. It's not that. It's just that sometimes when we got married, we said we're gonna be a united front. Our kids are we're gonna be in the same age with these kids. If one they don't have a united front. So the kids, the nieces and nephews too, have really been able to wiggle their same out of it, their way out of whatever situation. And to this day, Miss Marlene, 30 and late 30s and late 20s, they're still expecting mommy to solve everything. Even if dad says, get out, go get a job, get an apartment, they'll say, I'll talk to mom about it. And mom says, he doesn't have to, he has me.
Well, Miss Nexie, I I can't really fault the child when it's those
Mm,
things. You have to fault the parents.
exactly. I do. I do, but at the same time, Miss Marlene, is the kids and I don't know why some of my relatives feel that a late 20, early mid 30s-year-old man or woman still needs to be taken care of or nurture or support it. Like I don't get it. I don't get how you don't see that what you're doing, it's harmful for that person, for that little young person.
But Miss
And
but Miss but Miss Nexie also, but they're not little persons anymore. They're grown.
exactly. And that is, remember when I said that I had to realize, Miss Marlene, through therapy and everything as of late, that I had to realize that the the people I was dealing with, my children, the persons that they weren't little anymore. I had to learn, I had to realize that I was dealing with a grown a person, not a little one. And I was looking at my kids sometimes with dealing with drama and stuff as if they were little, if they were still my little baby, if they were still my little girl, my little boy. No, they're grown adults that deserve to be treated as such. But I think sometimes we put those rose color glasses that are super thick in rows,
Mhm.
and we don't see them as adults taking advantage of our kindness.
Yeah, but Miss Nexie, I think it's also a part of control too, inside of ourselves, that we still want to control them like they're kids, but then we also don't want to take care of them. We'll be like, "Oh, you're grown," but then you're not giving them the freedom to make grown people's choices.
I want to actually talk about what you just said, because the therapist said as much, not in those exact words, but the message was the same. Parental abuse in a way, because by one, but when we make them useless, we do it role that this little person, which is not anymore, but in your eyes, your baby, your child, is always going to have a need for you. So it's some sort of parental abuse. And he was telling me that. He was telling me, he's like, I thought that's how it is. Said it. So I was like, oh, so she knows too.
Yeah. And Miss Nixie, I think that it is important to have a balance. Like, forever, your kids are going to be your kids, but I think there's a lot of parents that need to. They're not a baby.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the of sometimes overprotecting my kids, or sometimes loving them unconditionally because they are my children, which at times, once I go through the motions and really think about who they are. We let everybody else get away that God let our kids get away with when it comes to us. So yeah, I get that you are my view, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go there, and we have to kind of find like a somewhat of a okay or normal medium between the two of us, so that you don't like you, and I don't feel like you don't feel bad because I feel like you're taking advantage of me. So a happy
Right,
medium,
Miss Nexie. That
right?
I think that that balance part, and that's something that you have to start talking about. You can't just wait until they get 18, 21. You have to be like, when you turn 18, things are going to change. I
Hmm.
not that I'm going away or anything like that, but now you are going to have to do things for yourself. And then you have to start stepping back, and it's so hard to step back. And
And help around the house.
yeah, and I was the one, Miss Nexty, that I can say I was that child. Like, I used to be like, "Oh, I'm dad's baby. I'm my dad's baby forever. I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm daddy's baby." And my dad said, "That's right. So you tell him." So I was definitely enabled. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Uh-oh, daddy, I'm sorry. Ooh, he's probably going up, and he's probably like saying, no, 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 don't go there, Missy, don't go there. Looking down at you right now from heaven, like, no.
He gonna say, "Oh, now you want to talk about it that I'm not around?" Okay.
Everything, but they're not mine forever, right? So I had to make sure that they were growing up, the right way, and knowing that there were responsibilities after you grow up, after you turn 18, that they friendship. And sometimes, with our kiddos, we make the mistake of not allowing them to develop at a normal pace. And then we complain about the thing that we did. We get upset at them for not, picking up their weight, or we get upset for them not, maturing enough, or we get upset with them because they continue on to, expect a living off of us. And we are the ones that have actually enabled them to continue to think that way, because we didn't prepare them, right,
Hmm.
for what life is about after you leave the nest.
Yep. And I think that's a problem. Hold on, Miss Nexie. I'll be right back.
Go for sure. No problem, Miss Marlene. You do what you have to do.
Miss Miss Nexie, tell them where you are.
About 7 hours away from California, but it's a beautiful. Now it's a little bit empty because like everybody starts coming to the campground tonight to do the celebrate the 4th of July. But yes, this is where I'm at with my little guy. He's having fun though. So,
Oh
Miss
wow.
Marlene,
Oh, oh. But we're not. But Miss Nexie, but we're not jealous.
of course not. And I'm not showing you so that you can see and get jealous. Of no, not at all. No, you know what? I haven't done this. I haven't been in this beach, and I haven't been back in a very long time. We used to do this yearly when the kids were growing up, and we haven't been back in like almost 20 years.
Wow.
So this is the first time in almost 20 years that we've been here. And I'm sorry if you're hearing all that beautiful, delicious wind,
Oh, oh,
but
beautiful, delicious wind.
Miss Marlene, this is what we were talking about. And it's funny because we just started talking about this with my ex-husband, and he was telling me, I keep on asking the kids, so what's your plan now that you're grown, and what's you're still living with mom and dad, and do you have any plans like for a year or two from now, like to get independent, have you know some of them, Miss Marlene, don't even have a driver's license, and they're in their mid 30s, no driver's license.
Miss Nexie, I'm not going to say anything because I know somebody and they are 50 and they don't have one.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my lord! And this is, these are young kids, and I mean, young compared to us, right? But he was
Mhm.
asking them like, what are you gonna do? Like any plans? No, I'm cool. I'm okay here with my parents.
You know why,
Uh,
Miss Nexie?
what
You know
about
why?
marriage? Hmm.
They wouldn't feel that comfortable if they weren't being coddled.
And again, it's okay sometimes to love your last baby a little bit more than the first one, because that's your last baby, and that everybody else is grown, and they're leaving soon, and this is the only baby you're gonna have for a while. But it is wrong, I think, to love them to the point in where you spoil them, like you don't make them good for themselves or society, because
Mhm.
we know as parents we're raising our children. Yes, we're raising them to be a good members of society. At least that was always in my mind. I'm raising these kids because they are my children. I love them, but I'm raising them actually to be a good citizens, good people out there, not committing crime, not being, lazy or whatever. But no, this kid told them, no need. I mean, I'm living here with my parents. They're not kicking me out. So I stay as long as I can.
Oh yeah, Miss Nexie, you know, I know somebody, and the only reason why they ever got their own apartment at 36 years old was they were forced because the parents finally put them out at 30, and then they went to their grandmother, and then when the grandmother passed away, then they finally had to get their own apartment at 36 years old.
God,
They
we've
had
been living on
never
our
lived
own.
on their own. And when I tell you they crumbled, they absolutely went into a meltdown because they were prepared for nothing.
And that's the saddest thing is that we make them, we turn them into, uh, you know, probably 17, 16. And then you think that it's a good thing. No, you overprotect that little one because they need your protection, right? They cannot fend for themselves. But as the child becomes more, grown and getting a little bit more knowledge, you let go a little so they can learn. But if you're always cuddling to them, they're never going to learn.
Yep. Well, Miss Nexie, one thing that I had to learn also, and we do the same thing. We enable people also as our friends. You know.
Oh, don't get me started on that, Miss Marlene, because you have right here in front of you the winner of that trophy.
Miss Nexie, I would have won the Golden Globe.
Okay, you win. You win. Because I don't think I would have a chance for that one. Then you win, Miss Marlene. You win.
Miss Nexie, I'll tell you how bad it got. This is how bad it was. I would take my friend's kid and I would pick them up. I take them places. I buy them things like they were my own children. And when my friends would be like, "Can I have my kid back?" I'm like, "Nah, I think maybe on the weekend."
Their own child.
Yeah, they said I can't even sleep. No, maybe Sunday.
Refer back to the custody agreement. Remember, I said every no.
I
I
always tell them. I say you were just the host.
the vessel in when they were born.
But you just have my baby. It's okay. You have my
No,
baby.
Miss Marlene, I was a friend enabler to the point on where my friend was so comfortable coming in and out of my house without. She had her own key. Will come and raid my fridge, take whatever she needed for dinner. Check in my closet, see whatever she could
What?
take for yes, for the next day for work, and just tell me later like, hey, I want things to make for dinner, and I I'll return it to you next week. Oh, sure, no problem.
What?
So yeah, I went.
Miss Nexie. We got Miss Nexie, what they said, you got some explaining to do.
Don't go there, Miss Marlene, because we're no longer friends.
Okay.
It has been a while, but we were friends for 14 years. She was one of my best friends. The funny thing is that I did so much for her, Miss Marlene. She was like a guys had a very nice mom. And one day, and my friend and I befriended this group, and they used to invite us over, like, once a month to have like dinner at their house. We would bring our kids and have fun with them. They had a pool. I didn't have a pool at this point. So my friend and I will take our kids, and this lady was like very nice to us, like a second mom. She stopped me before we left. My friend has already gone with her daughter, and she said, "You're a very nice girl." And I said, "Oh, you know, gotta be careful. I don't think she's your friend," she said. I go, "She's my best friend. We've been best friends for 14 years." She says, "No, you are her best friend, but I don't think she is yours." She said a lot of things, bad things about you to me that I don't want to repeat. All I want to tell
Say what?
my person, not so kind words. And the lady told me, be careful. Don't, what you tell this, because like, if I was, how when you have a friend, you come and tell, like, if you're upset at your significant other, your husband or boyfriend, you dish out with them, right? So she will literally tell this lady some of the things that I was talking to her about. And she will tell her, and I don't think it's her husband. I think it's all her. I think it's her fault.
Whoa.
She told me she's not your friend. Just be careful. And I was just trying to separate us, because we're best friends, or through somebody else. They said something to me as well, like, be careful. Some people don't know how to be friends. And I was like, huh? So after that, I started finding out that, you know, I'm over here trying to help as much as I can, giving you a free range in my kitchen so that you can go through my food pantry and get whatever you need, using my clothing. If you needed money, I will lend you, whatever. And you're talking to that I take advantage of. So I
Wow.
had to find out in my own way, Miss Marlene. It was a heartbreak. It was a very, very heartbreak. And when I got separated from my husband, my now ex husband, when we got separated, and I was devastated, I was going through my own thing. This lady, the same lady, said to me, she's blaming you for the separation. She says that you're the problem in that marriage. I
What?
was like, what? Yep. So she had two faces for me. One of
Wow.
the good friend who loved me and couldn't be without me, as um, soulmates and this and that, and she will talk behind my back to others about me. So
Wow.
sad.
Miss Nexie, but you didn't, but now that, that's over, can you see the times where she was that way and you were in denial?
Yes, yes, Miss Marlene. Because every time I needed something, she was hardly ever like, she was available out of the 50 times. Let's count them, right? Like if I had
Wow.
hey, I remember that she will do this and that, or I remember she will be the last to show up to one of my baby's, gatherings or parties or whatever. And I remember how she used to look at me in a certain way, or you know what I mean? Like I started getting that, but I also learned, Miss Marlene, that I was the one enabling that behavior because I was letting it be. I didn't put a stop to her when
Uh-oh.
she,
Miss
you
Nexie, I
know,
hear some noise. Okay, it stopped. Um, I was just going to say that I too have been guilty of that, of seeing things in friends. And like, because after you get run over for such a long period of time, it's hard for you to admit that to yourself, what other people see very freely. I feel like whatever the relationship, whether it's romantic, it's platonic, it's whoever, we get used to, we are blind to the treatment that other people do to us, and at the same time we know we don't like it, but we keep taking it.
Yeah, again, it's the same as I was saying. I had to, with that friendship, is my name, when she was one of my first friends when like in college. um she was one of my first really truly good friends. So even though I didn't like certain things, I will brush them off to the side. Oh, no, it's okay, we're best friends. She'll do it for me, it's okay. Even if people will tell me, Miss Marlene, why does she have a key to your house, or why does she come in here, and even my husband sometimes will say, why is she coming in here so freely, just picking up whatever and doing whatever she wants, like if this is her house. I will tell him, don't be jealous. That's my best friend. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like I always made excuses for behavior that I will never do. I will never just go into somebody's home and take, or you know what I mean? Like I will never do that. Even if I have your house key, I will never go in
No,
unannounced
never.
or without permission. So even though I knew that was wrong and that shouldn't be done, I excused it for her because she was my best friend, according to me.
Wow. See, but Miss Nexie, just like you said earlier, that you were her friend, but she was definitely not your friend. And I think that's what sometimes when we enable people or we allow them to treat us like trash, it's that we'll say, no, they love me. No, it's that you love them, but they are toxic.
Completely or totally, because I allowed that to happen. I was the one who, even if my husband said, hey, I came out of the shower and this girl was in my kitchen. I didn't even know she was coming. You didn't tell me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, shoot, she didn't tell me she was going to be, raiding my house. Like, she was going to go in, whatever. And I said, oh, you know what? She told me, but I forgot to tell you. Sorry. And even my husband will say, that's not right. That even if you allow her to, she shouldn't, out of respect for you. And then I will get mad at him.
What?
Like, how dare, yeah, because I'll be like, how dare you say that she doesn't respect me?
So you took her side in everything.
Everything. Yeah, she was my best friend. You know,
Mm.
like that bros before. Yeah, that was my mentality. Like, she's my best friend, and I know she's not doing it because to harm me or anything. She's just for comfortable with the friendship. Big mistake.
Yep. Miss Nexie, I have to say that I have been guilty of loving people that don't love me. Actually, I can say that now that I'm at a point of being healthy, I can say I've loved people who hated me.
Oh, that's not good. Hey, James. I see James there.
Yeah, you see
Sorry,
what they're
Miss Right.
putting in? Do you see what they're putting in the chat? Motor oil. Motor oil. Hmm. That's what I'm saying. You'll get blocked in my chat if you come in here talking about coffee. Uh-oh. Miss Nexia, are you there? Uh, see, you're showing your view, and it went out. I guess she'll come back. No, Nate, I will never embrace the motor oil ever. No motor oil in my chat. Motor oil is blocked. Motor oil is toxic and hazardous to your health. James says it says sip and chat, so drink up. Oh Oh, touche, James. So, one thing that I had to learn, everybody, is I had to learn when you talk about enabling people, I had to learn that you can't blame anybody but yourself. I had to learn to stop doing things that I wouldn't want anybody to do to me. I had to stop allowing things that was very toxic. And I was. I hate to say that I had allowed a lot of toxicity from siblings, even parents, romantic relationship, allegedly friends. That was really fake support. They are not loving you. They do not care about you, and we'll feel sometimes like people care about us, but they don't care about us at all. They don't care about us. They don't care about you. They just care about themselves. That's all that matters to them. But at the end of the day, it's just really about us growing up and realizing that we don't have to take it. You don't. Nate says, embrace it, bask in it, and no, you bask in it and inhale it. I'm going to bask in a cup of peppermint tea. Take that in, Nate. Take that in, James. So I don't know what happened to Miss Nexie. I think maybe her Wi-Fi went out, and we were going to do a quick sip and chat this week because Miss Nexie was on vacation. She was gracious enough to not cancel the sip and chat, even though she's on vacation. How very nice of Miss Nexie. Thank you, Miss Nexie, for including the sip and chat, taking us on vacation with you because Marlene won't be doing that. You're nice. When I'm on vacation, I'm not taking you guys with me. My vacation is no phones. But we do appreciate you, Miss Nexty, and we thank you so very much. And we hope you have lots of fun. Vacation starts next. Ooh, 10 days, James. Where are you going? Anywhere fun? So I'm going to try to wait for like 3 more minutes. And if not, we're going to bring the sip and chat to an end. But I wanted to say, I think it's very funny. Ooh, Maryland. I've never been to Maryland. I hope you have a great time, James. I have to say, everybody, that being toxic, people who are toxic, until somebody wants to change, they're not going to. And most of the time, the people who always talk about how they're going to change and how they're always sorry about their behavior, they're not really sorry about their behavior. They're sorry that they get caught. Oh.
I'm so sorry, Miss Marlene. This beautiful weather. Look at those winds. It's so beautiful. I'm sorry I got disconnected.
Ah.
Uh, I'm so bad. I'm so
Don't
bad.
you worry, Miss Nixie. One day, I'm going to be doing the same thing to you.
You know, because I'll be right next to you doing it with my other phone. I'll be like, oh, you think you're going to get away? You're going to get away from me? I booked the same flight.
Miss Nexie, I was just talking about how um at a certain point we have to get sick and tired of the behavior or it's going to continue. And I can say for me, being on both sides of enabling, I've been on both sides of enable. I've been enabled by my father, but I also have enabled other people because it's a cycle. When you learn about enabling, you also enable.
You know, again, I feel that we we mask. that enabling with Miss Marlene with love. I love him, or I love her, or I love them, and therefore, I have to show, I have to prove to them that I love them, and therefore I do everything. I forgive everything. I'm there for them. Sometimes even against your better judgment. Sometimes against your own health, you're there for certain people that you shouldn't. And sometimes I feel that is because we have experience. In my case, I always blamed it on the fact that I didn't have a mom growing up, right? I always wanted to be that love, that mom for someone, to fill in the little void, or to give a little love. And I felt that they didn't have it. And sometimes that can actually be a catalyst for you overindulging people, forgiving things that are sometimes unforgivable. But you're so wrapped up in, I don't want them to feel that pain that I felt, or that rejection that I felt, or that loneliness that I felt, that you enable even when you shouldn't. And you know it too, because I have been on the side of things that I know that I'm enabling, but I can't stop because my better judgment is blocked by that little thing called love.
Miss Nexie, I've known that I'm enabling and I don't even care. I used to laugh. I'd be like, I don't care. Oh well, who's gonna stop me?
Ooh, you was bad.
Yep. Especially when it came to my nieces and nephews, I was like, I would be
No,
like, I would tell my niece or my nephew, like, you can do whatever you want to. Oh, if mom or dad says no, just ask auntie.
wait. That okay. Well, we're talking about enabling. We're not talking about our baby nieces and nephews and the ones we love, and we allow them to do whatever they
Miss
want, and we
Nexie,
are
that's
we're talking about
enabling.
no. We're talking about somebody else's nieces and nephews.
Miss Nexie, that is enabling.
It is. It is. And
Mhm.
I I was to the point in where if mommy and daddy or whatever don't want to buy you that outfit, you call auntie. Auntie will come and take you to get that little outfit for the little dance you have at school, or the prom date, or whatever it is. And again, there is times where even if the parent wants to parent, because you're such an enabler, they can't get in between you and that child. I've
Mhm.
seen that happen, not with me because I'm not like that, but I've seen it happen with. Oh wow! You know what, Miss Marley? You gotta take something for that cold.
I got
You gotta
something
take
in my
some.
throat.
You gotta get something for that cold.
Yeah,
And
but
I've seen it happen. That the kids, it's so rotten because everybody enables, like everybody is overprotective of this. Things don't end up well because everybody's in between them.
well, I
And I've seen it happen, and it's sad.
well, Miss Nexie, I already said. I told my siblings, I was like that. I was like, thank you for having my child, so you can go away.
We'll see you. We'll
See you
see you on
later. Give me my
Sunday.
baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see you Sunday, where that parental court order says that we'll see you guys. Yeah. You guys take care now. Bye bye.
Yeah. Well,
No, my
and
my
it's terrible,
niece.
Miss Nexie, because even my nieces and nephews have said it till this day. They said, "Yeah, you may be my mom or dad." They'll say that to their parent. They say, "But she's always going to be auntie. Like auntie trumps what you say." It's like, but she's always auntie. And now I feel terrible about it, but that's what it was because I was not the person that I am today.
Yeah, we weren't well, held today. Overloved, right? When we overlove someone. I feel this because a part of us is missing.
Yep.
Or it became whoever. So we do it
Miss
to
Nexie, I
protect
think
or
Miss Nexie, you're breaking up.
am I?
Hmm.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're going in and out. Any
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't realize I was in paradise. That's probably why I can't. Can you hear me now, Miss Marlene?
do you see what James put in the chat? Talk about, okay, now I can hear.
See? He can hear me, so it's all about you. Oh, Miss Marlene, I'm sorry you couldn't come with me to this beautiful vacation spot.
That's that's okay because next time I'm just gonna bust in. I'm gonna be like your ex friend and just show up.
See, Miss Marlene, there's the fruit guy that comes and sells our fruits.
Oh
Ah, too bad
wow!
you're not here. I had a delicious coconut earlier today.
I see.
Anyway, we're talking about enabling.
Hmm.
I say that's not enabling. I don't think I feel that some people just are against us, Miss Marlene, with the way of that we love. I feel that that's what it is.
Well, Miss Nexie, I have to say, I feel bad because now it's the next generation, and it's like my nephews that I helped to raise. Now one of my nephews has a son, and now it's happening again. And he's like, "Oh, you're not going to do to my son what you did to me." And I was like, "What did I do to you?"
Wait. Is he trying to steal that baby away, his own baby away from you?
No, he's saying he doesn't want his kid to be spoiled like he was.
Exactly. So he's trying to steal his own child away from you so that you don't spoil him the same way.
I said, listen, he's going to be just as good as you are. I said, that's why you're such a good human being because you had a auntie that enabled
Wow.
you. Yeah.
Wow. Woo.
Hmm. Yep.
Denial.
Yeah. I had to have a cup of denial tea. Hmm.
For your birthday, I'm gonna buy you a cup. This is the denial. Besides, Miss Marlene, he is such a good human being because of you. So I think he's the one in the wrong here. But
Hmm. And
I can.
Miss Nexie, you've seen my cute little great nephew. How could I deny him everything that he wants? Hmm. Yeah, I know, I know. See, Miss Nexie, see, we both need help because we still are enabling another generation. So,
They're their own reality, Miss Marlene. I feel that we are doing, you know, God's work. He wants us to enable those babies and love them and protect them and everything.
well, Miss Nexie, do you know they want to say things like, "Oh, oh, don't give kids sugar," and I said I didn't give him sugar. I gave him candy. I was
See how
like,
selfish
I
they
was
are?
like, duh. Of course, I'm not gonna just give a kid pure sugar.
I did it in the form of candy. But Miss Marlene, that face on that child, no, I will give an
Yep.
this. I think that sometimes,
Oh,
just a little,
just a little.
just a little bit. And people don't understand that we just love intensely. That's all. Nothing wrong with that.
That's all, Miss Nexie. So, Miss Nexie,
Oh,
we
what is James saying?
say. Oh, James says Nexie must have told everyone that they are giving away tequila in town, and everyone ran away from the beach. So she got the beach to herself.
There's no tequila in this town. I'm not coming like tequila.
Oh my goodness. Well, Miss Nexie,
So you know what? I mean, I'm trying not to repeat. You know, probably the same things that I did in the past, as far as friendship and everything
hmm
goes. But I feel that if I change drastically because of one person's bad judgment on our 14-year friendship, if I would change who I am completely, then I don't think I don't think that would be good for me. So I try not to allow things like what happened between me and her, even though it was a long friendship, Miss Marlene. It was a very, very long friendship.
hmm
And I tried, and her daughter, she's, my goddaughter. And I had to stop, seeing her and everything because of what happened. But I cannot allow that to repeat itself. So I'm more cautious when it comes to friendships and multiple, friends. But I don't change 100% just because of what happened. My nieces and nephews, with their babies now, they're putting a stop to me over buying things for them. I don't know why, Miss Marlene. Only
Yes.
because if they say, "Oh, you know what? She likes this type of juices," they'll find like 3 boxes and the, at the door by the house. That it's just like, okay, 3 boxes. Or if they say, "You know what? She loves so and so movie or this song," and they'll find something, an outfit coming, by mail that she likes. So I'm trying to what not overspending on the babies, but I'm still gonna enable. I'm sorry, they're babies.
Miss Nexie, you know what I'm gonna do? When it comes, I feel okay. I feel a balance thing. I'm not gonna go and be disrespectful to people and their children, but at the same time, I feel like it's not a big deal to do something for a child that I love because they're only going to be children for a little bit. That's how I look at it.
Miss Marlene, I was watching this something on YouTube. I don't know why it got.
Miss Nexie, you're cutting in and out.
Home until a month I was born.
No, I
I'm sorry.
didn't
I don't know
hear.
how
I
much you
heard
heard, Miss
something
Marlene.
about I heard
You didn't hear
something about
anything?
a grandchild. That's
Oh,
all.
oh no, no. What I was watching, I saw this clip on YouTube of a lady who her son had got married, and they the daughter-in-law and her son put in a policy and where nobody could see the baby until the baby was 1 month old. You couldn't meet him. So it's the first grandchild, it's the first nephew or niece, whatever the baby was. All I saw was the lady very sad, asking if it was kind of like if this is normal, like if this is the new norm. But the daughter-in-law had a no meat policy until the baby was 1 month old. Do you think that's
What?
yeah, yes. And I've seen it more and more in more places. And I asked my daughter, like, this is not right. And the answer I got from my daughter was kind of like weird for me because she said, well, they're the parents. So I'm with the parents because they can do whatever they want. I was like, what?
Yep. Miss Nexie, I've gotten the same that we're not family to the child. The family is the mother and the father.
Yeah. Hey, Sirius. Happy Thursday. Yeah,
Hey,
but for me,
serious.
that was weird, Miss Marlene, because when I had my babies, when my sisters had their babies, my brothers, it was a huge event. We were there. Like the minute they said, hey, the baby's almost here, I think the entire family filled the hospital.
Yep.
And everybody was taking turns seeing the baby, kissing and whatever. And now, when I heard my daughter said, well, they are the parents, so they can literally do whatever they want. It's their
Mhm.
child, it's their time. And I was like, am I
Miss
in
Nexie,
the wrong here?
Miss Nexie, it's a different generation, Miss Nexie, because it's happening on this side too. I've shared certain things with you about certain stuff about, you can't come to the hospital, and it's only for, me. It's only going to be me, the baby, the father and myself, and we can't come until a week later. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that was weird. And I thought about that with you. But this one is a month, Miss Marlene, until a month when the baby's a month old, then everybody can, including the grandparents. I
Miss
was like, that is
Nexie,
so messed up. That is so
Miss
rude.
Miss Nexie, listen. And when they do things like that, that's when you have to do things too. Oh, you don't want me to come after a month? I wouldn't come until 3 months, 6 months.
Uh, so petty. So petty, Miss Marlene.
Miss Nex, my family already knows. Do not put in no rules, because I'm telling you. Because say, oh yeah, Marlene's gonna make up her own
She takes
rules.
it she takes it to the extreme.
Oh, you say a month? How about I won't see the kid until they're one?
No, but I just thought that it was kind of maybe again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this generation is different, as you said. But withholding a grandchild because you don't like the mother-in-law or the uncles and aunties or whatever it is. I think that says more about you than it says about your mother-in-law and the extended family. I
Hmm.
think.
Miss Nexie, I think that there's one thing that when it comes to that's your blood relatives. Yes, parents have the right to say what they want to protect their child, like from physical harm, but holding your kid back from bonding from the time of birth, and then later on, when they come to realize, I need help, and now they want you to drop everything and be there. It's like, no, you didn't want me there from the beginning. Why do you want me there now?
Yeah. But not many people have that attitude that you and I have. A lot of, especially older parents, right? They don't think like that, and when kids do things like this to them, it hurts them. For me, if my daughter would have said, no, mom, my brothers, you can come see her, but my brothers can't be in the same hospital because blah 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 blah, I would have been like, call me when she turns 18, we'll come visit her.
Wow.
I'll pay for her trip to Cancun after her high school graduation. You know what I mean? Like we're more like old school, I guess. We're more like, yeah, no, don't play that BS with me because that ain't gonna be me, right? But older parents, they don't react or act the way you and I can act, even though you are years, many many years younger than me. But we kind of have the same upbringing with our backgrounds and stuff. But a lot of parents get hurt because the son is not really protecting the parents, and it's all about what the wife wants, which I get
Hmm.
it. She's your wife or that's your husband or whatever, but you came from somewhere. And you don't hurt those people that love you the most just because your wife says that.
I always have this, Miss Nexium, call me old school, but there's certain things that you just don't do.
Yep,
You don't do that. I understand that could be your spouse and everything, but you do have to talk to your spouse and say, "Yes, I love you. You're my wife, you're my husband, but that's my sister. That's my."
yep,
And you're not going to tell them they can't be here because I want them here.
exactly. Or like, how, I mean, how submissive or whatever you have been that this person has actually have the guts to say, I don't want your family here until 3 weeks from now. I just want you, me, our baby, and my mother here. Like, okay, why do you want your mom here? Like how far have you relinquished yourself to this person for love or family, whatever, that you're gonna push aside your entire family just to please them? Because
Hmm.
someone like that, you're never gonna go be able to please, because today is this, next time it will be, I don't want to see your mom until the kid is 18, right? And you're gonna be okay with that.
Yep. And I know somebody, Miss Nexie, who is just as ruthless as me. And that's how I know that that's my real blood family, because something happened when that kid was like 2, their child, and they have said, I'm not going to be there until that kid graduates high school.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Because they said that they don't want to deal with them until that kid is 18, and then the parent can't tell them what to do because they're an adult. They can choose for themselves.
And again, there's times when you have to do that. Hey, Nate, I serious. Sometimes you have to do that. But this is the thing, though, Miss Marlene. I don't know why, but most of the time, when you do things like that, you lose more than what you will gain by not having an argument with this person. You will lose more family members, sometimes friends, because when you tell somebody else that, hey, my significant other didn't want my family here and I was okay with it, they'll be like, what? I've seen it happen. Like, yeah, no, bye. Yeah, we can't be friends anymore, dude. Again, you cannot, certain things, if you enable them, right, or if you allow them to go too far, they can be very harmful. Not just to the person that you are enabling, but also to you. It can come full circle.
Yes, Miss Nexie, that is so true, Miss Nexie, because people don't understand that when they do things, it comes with consequences. Sometimes people will think, oh, because they're okay right now, they don't think about later on. What about one day, maybe when you're not okay? Anybody's health can change. Anybody can lose a spouse. people can get divorced or they break up or whatever, you know? People will just act so different when they get in relationships. And I feel like this is probably a good spot for us to stop
Yes,
because
because we're
I,
going into another topic.
yeah, we're going into another topic, but I think that's a good topic to talk about, how people change once they get in a relationship.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do that.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the Sip and Chat. And Miss Nexty, not that we're jealous or anything, but we
You're not
really
jealous
don't
of all of
care about
this?
your
You're not
view.
jealous of all of this?
No, we don't care, Miss Nexty. We don't care.
Uh, well, you know what, Miss Marlene, thank you for having me. And I know you're jealous, and that makes me really, really, really sad because I wish you were here. Not, no, I mean that. But I just wanted to show you where I was at, and all of our, chatters here. I wanted to show them that I was having a great time here. It's very relaxing. And thank you for having me again, Miss Marlene, and everybody. Thank you for showing up to our sip and chat and for supporting Miss Marlene.
Yes,
Don't
this
forget,
was great
don't forget to hit the
stream.
like.
Yes, don't forget to hit the like and to subscribe if you're new. And if you're watching in the replay, leave me a comment because I love to hear your comments.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.